The Honorable Brother, the Revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
Welcome to Powerbombshells 181. I am Mel. That is Sam. We are just two broads talking about the wrestling we watch. And before I say anything, I would like to give a huge, enormous shout out to Auntie Colin for sitting in for me last week, for wearing our shirt, just like I did on another show. I was that guy on another show. Thank you, Collins. I appreciate it. Thank you for sitting in. Thank you for having a great time with Sam. I had a blast listening back to you guys, and I'm very grateful. And I'm glad that we could get them on the show. And super.
We'll have to get it. We'll have to try to work it out where we can get Collins back so that you could officially meet him.
I definitely want to hang with him.
I told Collins, I was like, Mel was so bummed that I said she's happy that you're here with me today. I was like, but she's very bummed because she hasn't got to meet you officially yet. And I was like, so you have to come back. And I think they were pretty open to that.
It didn't seem, my favorite thing they did this week was, and I don't know if it was them or if it was Garrett or whatever, but they like superimposed their face on my face for one of the slides, and I laughed my ass off. I thought that was the funniest thing ever, just right there. It was so fun. I'm really grateful that thank you. We have such a great group of people that we can tap for that. And sometimes life happens. It's really fun when it gets, and you guys got to like have your like, what are we doing here moments together. And that's really important. We need to give you 12 people that have stuck by our weight. Exactly. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve it.
We do deserve it. Hashtag we deserve
so anyway, so what's shaking, Sam?
Well, today is hopefully going to be a really fun day because after this podcast, right after the show ends, Nikki and I are headed to Panda Fest, which I'm really excited about because pandas have been my favorite animal since I was like 8 years old. And of course, there will not be any actual pandas present, but there is a 15-foot inflatable panda balloon that you take pictures with. There's panda merch, and then there's like all types of Asian food from various countries. And so we've got early bird tickets, like 2 months ago. And our mom was supposed to go with us, but we didn't. This was before we knew that our foster dog even existed. Right. And she does not like to be left alone. We have learned that the hard way. We've tried different things. We even tried crating her, and she destroyed the door of the crate. She's a little like 25-pound dog. Like she destroyed that. So my mom is going to stay with her. And but I've been reading comments because it started on Friday, and there's been a ton of mixed reviews, most of them bad. So Nikki and I are going in with very low expectations. But I've heard like Friday night they had to shut down at 7 because of a propane issue, and so the fire marshal shut it down. Yesterday, apparently it was so crowded, people were waiting blocks. The line was like blocks long to even get in. Parking was a nightmare, apparently. So then I saw last night, today they are not selling tickets at the door. You can only get in if you're having tickets. So I'm hoping, since Nikki and I already have tickets and we're going at the last slot of the day, hopefully like the lines will be okay and parking will be good and we will get the free parking area. And then I was like, hopefully there's still like merch for us to buy.
As an avid festival goer, my first question would be, how new is this festival?
I'm not sure. This is the first time it's come to Charlotte. I know that they were in Atlanta. They've been to they've been to Minnesota. They've been to a couple other places. And so I don't know if this is their first year or if last year was their first year, but it sounds like maybe this year is their first year. I don't know. If
it's their first time in your area too, there's always things to work out. I wonder where it's like taking it. There's because your fairgrounds can be affected. If you don't expect, a lot of places like under expect people. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's either food trucks are the main source of the festival, or I think you guys are doing it right. I think going with low expectations. No matter what, if that balloon is there, you get that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So, like,
and you're gonna get the experience because you guys,
right?
Most people that write reviews online aren't the kind of patient people that like to go to fairs.
Right.
Like
right.
one of my favorite. This is not a joke, and you're hearing this only on Powerbombshells. So if you're part of the Michigan Renaissance Festival group somehow that's going to get the word on this, then great. But I doubt it. But one of my absolute favorite things to do, one of my guilty pleasures in the world, is to camp. I lurk in the Michigan Renaissance Festival group. It's like a fan group, and the admins will just let anybody talk in there. Like it's that kind of group. And so it's constantly people like, which day of the fair is the slowest day to go? And you're like, no. It's like, is it better to go on Saturday or Sunday? Yes.
Right.
A fair. It's the biggest fair in our state. It's the Renaissance Festival in our state. Right. You're gonna wait in line. You're gonna have you think Michigan beer lines are bad? Go to Pennsylvania sometime, okay? That's a way bigger fair. It's hilarious. I love my favorite thing, and I will conclude this, because any of you who've seen our Insta and who are on socials with me have seen what my husband and I go to fair in. So we are very in deep. We are very much in gimmick when we go to fair. And my favorite thing is always the Izod shirt guy in the beer line who goes, "Can you believe these lines?" To me, wearing what I'm wearing. I have a sword, guys. I have a real functioning, actual, not a replica, hand-forged, has to be peace-bound sword that I bring to fair with me. And you're going to look at me and bitch about the beer lines. So my solution to this problem, I just stare at them.
There you go.
And then they eventually go, it's actually not that bad, really. It's really not that bad considering how many people are here. And for those of you who don't, and the funniest part, guys, about this entire story is that I'm 5'0". I'm really short. So it's ultra hilarious because I'm in that silly gimmick.
Sure. Right.
Standing next to that guy who is at every fair, everywhere in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, everywhere I've gone, every fair, that guy is there.
Right.
And that's what I've learned to do.
I'm sure he's here, and I'm sure he's here at Panda Fest. There was one guy.
He will be there, Sam.
You know what? He may have already been there because there was one guy going through all the posts and was like, "This is a scam. This is a scam. This is a scam." On with a panda emoji on every on 5 posts in a row. I was like, "My God, nobody's responding to you. Calm down." So I was like, at least. Because every ticket we didn't do the VIP, which I kind of wish we did, just because now that I saw this cute little bag that they get with the VIP tag, I was like, man, maybe I should have splurged the $7, because we paid like $13 because we got early bird pricing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Right. So, well, we should have done the VIP, but we got the general admission, but everybody gets, 2 free things. So we do get, I was like, if nothing else, we will get our inflatable panda crown, our headband, and we will get, they made a pin for each place that they've been, and so it's a little panda pin with a little crown on its head because we're the Queen City, and it says Charlotte on it. So I was like, at the very least, we'll get those. And I was like, I'll be pleased with that. I was like, hopefully we can get some more panda merch, even though I have tons of panda merch, but I
bet you guys will have more fun than that. A lot of people, when they do festivals, don't they have the general population's patience, and you two don't. Right. So you guys are actually human beings. You've worked in service industries. You've worked with people. You've worked all the places so you understand, and you're going to wait in line at a festival, and that you're going to have to there's people that are also at the festival with you.
Yeah. So we're
really, I think my experience overall, and I think you guys will have fun because of who you guys are. You'll have fun because it's you and Nikki, and you're loving pandas, and you'll find the other fun people there that love pandas, and you'll mark out about pandas all day, and it'll be fun. And you'll find the right truck or a food truck or person that you want to buy your food and your stuff from, and it'll be a lot of fun. And it's because most of the people, it's so hilarious what people go online and actually say about these things, where it's like, First time at a fair.
Right. The one comment that got me, that clearly a first time. I can't believe they charge an entry fee when you had to buy from vendors. I'm like, welcome to welcome to Starcast.
Guys, come on.
Well,
This is
Comic Cons are the same way. You pay a ticket you pay an entry fee to get in, and then you pay wherever you want to go.
That's
you have
a
to
con.
pay, or
That's
you
a
pay for your
festival.
meet. Right, you pay for your meet and greet. So I was like, that Starcast was the first. It was where I really learned. Like, you pay to get into Starcast, then you pay for your wristband.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The entrance fee is like the door. That's your cover charge right there.
Right, exactly.
That gets you
money. Right, exactly. Nikki,
I like going to fairs and festivals myself personally because a lot of time local vendors go, and that's the best thing. So, and yeah, the beer lines are. It's true. I mean, it's Michigan. We have beer at everything. Like, we literally for our book sale here at the local library. You'll love this. You can pay and we did it just to look at the books, but you can pay a little extra, and they'll actually do wine pours for you at an early entry to the book sale. So you can
listen. You gotta monetize like Crash says, monetize everything.
Michigan is I love living here. I've been here I've been here 10 years now. So this will be the third longest place, or the third place I've lived over a decade or more. It's such a fun, unique place, and the people here are such a special group of people. And I mean, everything is fun here if you make it fun. And I think your Panda Fest will be fun because you and Nikki are fun. And
yeah, we're like, let's just go in with lowered expectations. We're gonna try to leave here like pretty much as soon as the podcast is done. We're gonna probably just go ahead and leave so that we can figure out, like, at least I know going into it that parking could be horrendous.
Wait, Sam, could it be pandemonium?
It absolutely could be pandemonium in the parking lot, trying to get into the Panda Fest, trying to find things. So yeah,
you might have to call Jean-Claude Van Pan.
Yes. It's funny that you say that because they're at. God, we're going to end up talking. We're going to end up talking about pandas way longer than I meant to. But we went to. There's a store. So Zoo Atlanta. They currently do not have any pandas, but they did have them for a while. They were obviously pandas when they come here, their own loan, and then they have to go back to the research center. This is how they're keeping them alive and keeping them from going extinct. So, but at the end, so Nikki and I went with some friends, and we saw, because at the time they were new panda babies, and then like they're very smart. They get you hyped for the pandas. Going through, you're getting to see them and interact with them, and it was like one of the greatest days of my life, getting to see pandas in person. Yeah. Then at the very end of it, there's a store called Pandemonium, and I bought so many things. I had Pandemonium shopping there.
I love that. I love knowing that too, because that creates a whole new world of puns and fun.
Yes. Yeah, Nikki said she was just about to talk about that store. Nikki I think she ended up getting a couple things too, but she was like, she saw it. I just like went to this, like, my inner child came out and was like, I've been waiting for this. And so the inner child was very excited and was like, let's buy everything. And adult me was like, calm down. I mean, I still bought a decent amount of stuff, but I also had to calm her down to like, listen, we've got so much budget. We have to bring this back. Then we have to figure out where we're putting these things.
And we still need to have like a place to put them is the biggest one. You have
exactly.
Sadly, when adulting becomes real, you're like, okay, I still need food and a place to keep all these pandas.
Right. So today is more for inner child. Inner me is very excited about the Panda Fest. She got very excited. How I even found out about it was a friend of mine in Virginia heard about it, and she tagged me in the video, and I like immediately bought tickets without
That's
doing any
awesome, though. You guys are
research.
gonna have fun. You'll have
I
fun.
think so.
I think you'll be fine.
Nikki says she thinks my soul probably left my body. It did.
That's so
And one of the days
cute.
we went to the zoo, and then we went because I went twice. The first time I went to see the pandas, it was literally greatest day ever. Went to the zoo, and then that night I went to a Braves game.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so it was like the greatest day of my life.
Holy cow! That's like
It was
Sam's. Jeez Louise, that's like bucket list level.
Yeah,
that's awesome. No, that's so
thank you.
cool.
Nikki, I have a panda necklace, and I think we have a shared jewelry armoire, and I was telling her I think that's where it's at, so she got it. And also, hello, Tom. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for having both of us. Tom has a great show. If you have not already subscribed, I think he just hit over 1,600 subscribers, which that's incredible. But he's also on this very channel called, and you just look up Tom Talks Rubbish, and he talks to content creators and people in wrestling media. And I was able to be interviewed, and then he interviewed Mel as well. And so look out for those episodes coming in the future. Thank you to Tom for having us both on. And Tom was great to talk to. He's so much fun.
Seriously, guys, good pod brother, really fun. He's one of us, whether he likes it or not. But that was a lot of fun, and it's something that was it was different for me because I don't think about it. We've been doing this for 3 years. I don't think about sometimes how much like you guys that like show up with us every week. It's like sometimes because I love it and I'm so grateful for it, and I just think that I'm lucky every week. So I don't think about like the fact that like someone wants to ask you about it, and then they ask thoughtful questions that were a lot of fun. And I seriously, that's cool. I think Garrett did one too. So this like he found Fight Game Media, however he did, and I'm so glad because that was tons of fun.
Yes.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm saying. He knows. He felt it. It was there.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I love about this community that has always been what we kind of have built our thing on, which is like the best part of this community. You're going to have fun at Panda Fest because you and Nikki are awesome. You're going to have fun at wrestling events because we find all the awesome people at wrestling events to hang out with. And, we can all find toxicity if we're looking for it, but it's really fun to find a lot of, and I always love the podcast community has been good to me since 2012. So in every sphere that I've ever done any of these things. So it's a special place. I always love to meet a new person in this space.
Me too. Yeah.
And that's it's a really cool idea because interviewing content creators, I was like, that's smart. I can't wait to see yours.
When he first approached me about it, I was like, that's such a cool idea for a podcast. Like,
totally.
That's I was like, heck yeah, I want to be a part of it. That's such a cool idea. Like, and if you go over to his channel, Garrett has been on there, Collins has been a guest. So there's all kinds of cool people that have done shows with Tom, and so I'm excited that that you and I both have episodes.
Me too. I can't wait to watch your episode so we can compare our answers.
Yeah.
See how funny it was, like how much stuff we said that was the same.
It's funny because like I would remember things like afterwards. So I'm like, man, why did I say this? Or why didn't I?
Oh, that's like life, girl. That's like every conversation I've ever. I'm still thinking about stuff I didn't say in 7th grade. I'm that guy. So.
Oh, that's a great goal. So Tom says not to self-promote, but hey, you're here. His goal is to get to 1650 by the end of 2025. We're September 14th today, and I know you have reached over 1600. So I think you can. I think you can crush that. I think you will.
I agree with that.
Hit that. So if any people in our chat would like to go subscribe, wait till after the show's over, but
obviously,
or come right back and go. But make sure you go follow.
Or do it on a different device
and subscribe because there's all kinds of cool content. We'll let you know when we find out when our episodes are airing. We'll let you know, and you can definitely go check those out because it was really fun because it's not often that I know Mel is the same way. It's not often that I'm on the opposite side of the interview. Usually I'm the one conducting them. And so I've only done it a couple of times. And so it's very, very good.
It's weird
it's
when you're not
different.
having to like make notes and do things. It's funny. It was like, I don't have to do anything. Even when I told Bob before I went on, I was like, I don't have to do anything. It's so weird. I'm sitting here.
I know. You don't have to. I think so. Tom asked, is 1604 years good? I think so.
Oh my gosh, yes. You're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
That's totally.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone once put it to me. It was that it was out of 100, if 100 people listen to your podcast, only one of them, like on average, will download it. Or it was 500. So if you get even one download, that's like an achievement. So you start little and build up with what you do. And everyone that I know, that most people don't make money doing this. They get a little kickback maybe, or they don't get any money at all and they're just doing it for fun or whatever. I know a couple of people who have monetized channels where they have done the work, where they get paid to YouTube and TikTok for a living. That's a lot of work. I know someone that is very, very active, and YouTube came to her because she started out on TikTok, brought her TikTok people over to YouTube. She's like making her living doing that, but she spends an extraordinary amount of time editing and pumping out content. And so on average, for most of us, we're doing this because we like doing it. And even if we make any money, YouTube only pays at the end of the month, and it only pays in increments of 100. Right. It's like no one's. I mean, I think it's
hoops that you have to jump through.
It's silly, and I think that's why I think it's weird when people get. I think absolutely, I think you're doing great, and as long as you're having fun doing it, and it's not burning you out mentally where you don't enjoy it anymore, you're fine. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Because this isn't life. This isn't what you're probably making your money doing for the vast majority of us. Because it's too hard.
It's too hard. Yeah, props to people who do this all of the time.
Seriously.
Because it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Maria said it straight up. Not everyone can be Denise Salcedo. But that girl hustles like crazy. I mean, like crazy.
Right.
I can't pump out content like that. I can't. Even that's what I talked about with America's Favorite Couple contest. I can't compete with people who are putting out TikToks and IGs and all these things all day, every day. I've got a roof to keep over my head.
Right, exactly. Tom, so thanks for the support. Was feeling down as I had no motivation to create content. Sorry for saying in the chat. No, you're fine.
You're fine.
We totally understand that as people who podcast live weekly, that sometimes that it's hard to create content, and you've got things.
We don't just put anyone up on the screen. We appreciate that you guys are here, but not everyone's going to get called on, like I told Sam. And so you're welcome to spam our channel, and we appreciate it, because that was great. It was fun. I'm super glad I did it. It was a little out of my wheelhouse, which I like to challenge myself.
Right. Yeah.
And so I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Definitely.
We should all be supporting each other. It makes our podcast world better.
Yes. Daza said, every time someone watches one of my YouTube videos, I drink a beer. I've been for 2 years. Daza
is actually my content hero. Daza has a blog. Daza has a channel. Daza has all these things. And he just does it because he loves movies. And I love that. And I get to those when I can. And I like listening to Daza when I can get a minute. And we all know we're busy. But I love that we have outlets here.
Yeah.
And I think the people that are taking it seriously are either going to be the full-time people that are hustling, or they're the whiny people that are like, nobody's listening. It's like, sorry, dude.
We all go through phases like where you're like, nobody's listening to me, and it's hard. Like, because you don't.
Oh yeah, of course.
Where you just feel like I'm putting out content, and it feels like I'm doing all this work for nothing. Because believe me, I feel that way a lot of times with like the interviews that I do, because they're a lot of work to.
Oh my gosh!
Prep, you do the interview, transcribe, and then when the views don't especially for certain websites where they're based on what their payout is, it's just like, what's the point? But on the other hand, which is why I cut back on doing a lot of interviews, because it was just, I was like, I'm putting in all this effort for nothing. But then, I really enjoy doing interviews. The transcribing part, not so much, but I love doing interviews. And like, I was like, well, I mean, the more I do them, obviously, the more comfortable I get, and the better. So, but I totally get that, where sometimes it's just like you feel like you're doing all the work for nothing, and it's just not having any payoff. So I totally get where you're coming from, Tom, and I hope that you get out of that rut soon. And if you don't, it takes you some time. That's okay too. But you're doing good work.
Just know that you are not alone, and that
you are
definitely. And there's people out there thinking, keep going, brother. Just
exactly.
keep making. Make sure you're making you happy.
Right.
Exactly.
And yes,
Crash.
like Crash says, you have to keep your sanity, which is something.
And if I remember correctly, Crash is also a creator of creates. So Crash knows how to.
Exactly.
And sometimes we all get it. John even talks to me sometimes where he has down days because he knows he's off because he didn't draw this week. And I know he's off if he didn't draw that week because I know how much that's a part of his like daily routine.
Right.
But we're humans. What? We're humans. Sorry. Just humans.
Right. Just humans who talk about wrestling. I suppose we should do that. Since we talked about because we gotta get to pandas and burnout and all that stuff. So I guess hashtag the burnout is real.
It's so real.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? But here we are. We've made it. At least for today. And so I guess there's been so much that's happened this week. I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, oh, we've got a couple topics. And then WWE is like, hey. And then yesterday they were like, hey again. So I guess we'll start with them because we like to do. We generally like to get the crap stuff out of the way first, and then end on the more positive things. So
that's right. I forgot it, and then I had to remember.
Yeah, sorry. You have to remember. But so we'll do the WWE stuff first. So I guess earlier this week, so on Wednesday, because it was September the 10th, Saudi Arabia somebody in Saudi Arabia accidentally sent out a press release too early about WrestleMania 34. And it was only released in Arabic. So not everybody, so like the American media didn't get it, or like English speaking media did not get it. And so they had to like hurry up and be like, oh shit. So then on Friday, because I guess you don't want to make this announcement on 9/11, even though
oh my gosh.
Yeah, because somebody was like, oh my God, it's the day after 9/11. I was like, bro, the news leaked on the day before 9/11. So yeah. So it is now official.
WWE never ceases, do they?
I did not watch because I do not really care. Hopefully by 2027, hopefully I won't be watching WWE in any capacity, but we shall see. And I was out running errands. But when the official announcement came in, they went to YouTube. No media was present, which is, not a surprise considering they don't do scrums anymore. So no media was there.
That tracks, as the kids say.
Yeah, it does track. So they officially announced that WrestleMania 43 will take place from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The first WrestleMania to ever happen outside of the United States is not going to the UK, where it should go. If you're going to do an international one, should be the UK.
Billion%.
Yeah, that's where it should be. But no. Saudi Arabia paid a ton of money. They pay a ton of money anyway. They make like 50 million. I think it's 50 million per event that they do in Saudi Arabia. So they make a ton of money anyway, which is why they now go twice a year. But then they paid, apparently the rumor is they paid 9 figures to get WrestleMania in Riyadh. And they are requesting people like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin to be there. So we're using, nostalgia to sell it. And then apparently like The Undertaker, because he was there, like if you see, I saw the picture of the people who were there and they all look like they did not want to be there. Like Charlotte.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture on social media because I saw it on social media yesterday. And I was like, okay, it's actually gonna happen. I mean, it's been rumored for years that they were gonna do it, but when I saw it, I was like, this is really happening. But yeah, I saw a lot of people showing pictures of people at the press events that they did have on the YouTube, that those people look miserable.
Yeah,
like,
they looked.
They can't even hide it. It's like,
no, it looks like, and luckily for Seth Rollins, he can get away with wearing his sunglasses. None of them looked happy. So apparently Undertaker was trying to convince Americans and just people in general to travel to Saudi Arabia to attend these events.
bro.
First of all, like, there's so much wrong with trying, especially if you are a woman or if you were gay. Traveling to Saudi Arabia is not ideal. But I'm like, do you know how expensive it is to fly to Saudi Arabia in the first place?
If you're a journalist, since they bone-sawed a journalist who spoke out against the regime to death right in front of everybody's face and nobody said anything.
Right. So
who was an American? I'm pretty sure who was an American national. I'm pretty sure.
Right. So there's just so much. It's sports washing at its finest, which is what WWE has been doing since they've been doing these shows.
Sports 2025 thing ever.
Right. Sports washing has been something they've been doing for the last few years. They've been holding these. They made history by having the first women's match when they had the Natalia face Lacey Evans of all people. And they had to be covered head to toe. They wore T-shirts over top of their gear. They've had a few more women's matches since then. I don't know how they're going to do WrestleMania. Like, how many women are going to fly over there? And somebody asked Denise, they're like, "Are you going to Saudi Arabia?" She's like, "No, I'm not going." I don't know that any woman, journalist or content creator, would go.
I don't feel like it would be safe to. It's scary enough being a lady in America right now.
Right.
Let alone going to a place that is just openly the way they are about ladies.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get demonetized and political, but it's just the facts are the facts. Go look it up.
I would, when you have some time, I recommend going to read Brandon Thurston's absolutely brutal takedown of this announcement.
Excellent. He's a good writer. He does a good job.
If you do not understand, first of all, if you do not understand satire, that piece is not for you. If you don't have good reading comprehension skills, that piece is not for you. But it was very well done. Like, usually when I'm quoting, sometimes when I quote somebody's article, I'll use like a specific line or whatever. There were so many good lines in that I was just like, go read it. That's all I can tell you. Alan Cheapshot also wrote on his Substack a really lengthy piece about it. He ties in some more of the finance side of things about like how much money WrestleMania makes here, and it's like nowhere close to what it's going to make. And so now,
because if they're paying, so that's just to get it there. That doesn't count. That's ticket sales. That doesn't count merchandise, right? I'm
right.
I'm reading that right?
This is basically the site fee, because so as most of you know, when WrestleMania is held at a specific city, it's because they bid on it, like the Olympics.
Actually, it's not just for WrestleMania. That's true for all WWE shows.
Well,
they all require site fees. WWE requires the venue to pay. For any of you who don't know what a site fee is, WWE requires the venue that they come to pay them a fixed amount of money before they will even come to the city.
Right.
So
that's why cities bid, especially like WrestleMania is like the biggest thing. That's why they bid on it. They bid on it like it's the Olympics.
Yep.
To get
or the World Cup
Right. And it's because it brings in so much revenue, because it had been, WrestleMania was something people around the world planned for. They would plan in advance. They'd hear a city, they'd look at, they'd plan to buy a hotel, all kinds of stuff. And then, obviously another huge factor in all of this is going to be the indie shows that happen around WrestleMania. They typically, they go to that city and they run shows from Thursday to Sunday, noon shows, midnight shows. I mean, you can argue the WWE kind of infiltrated that because they were doing some of the GCW shows this year. They sent a bunch of their wrestlers to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, and I think only one WWE wrestler lost the Bloodsport matches. And so like they kind of choked the life out of that, which they've been trying to do. They've been trying to shut down the indie scene going on around it. So obviously now, like they have said, yes, we will do something that weekend. Clearly not in Saudi Arabia. It will be, this
is what I was just thinking. You could seriously, I mean, the indie scene could capitalize on this and throw a for the culture extravaganza where all the indies that usually do this, pick a city, pick a place that's good for wrestling, and do essentially independent wrestling counter programming in a way that you can ethically freaking watch it and actually, I mean, that would, if it were me in charge of like that situation, that's how I would turn this around. Is I would market the fact that you can watch the Blood Money show that's going on that got paid for and stuff that weekend, or you can watch all of this independent wrestling that is a big FU to that situation.
Right.
And I mean,
I know
that's not going to be as big of a draw as it is today with the situation around being in the city and getting that captured, because you've got the captive audience of the people that are already wrestling fans. But give me a break, man. I mean,
right. And so, of course, some people are like, AEW should do another stadium show, or they should do a really big show. Like they have to capitalize on this, but Joey Janela.
I don't know if they do.
So Joey Janela quote tweeted somebody this morning, and he was like, "What if I run Madison Square Garden and finally get Orange Cassidy versus Suzuki?"
That'd be awesome.
That match was supposed to happen the WrestleMania that COVID happened, and then everything got shut down. That match was, and every single year, people were like, "Are we getting Orange Cassidy versus Suzuki? Like, are we gonna make this happen?" And so Joey was like, "What if I just, what if I just do it then?" I would buy that. I would attempt to go to that. So,
okay, wait. Tony Khan using AEW could essentially throw the independent wrestling event.
Yeah, that's what I Make Beats was saying, that they could capitalize and host their own weekend and indies in the same weekend
where they could promote, because a lot of their talent does those indie shows during that weekend anyway.
Right.
Maybe ROH show has a supercard. They revisit their supercard at Madison Square Garden, and Joey gets his wish. I mean,
and USBA
you've got
makes
New
a
Japan,
really great
you've
point.
got ROH, you've got a buttload of talent in
right.
You could use New Japan to come in.
I mean, and they typically do anyway, because they always do the TJPW versus GCW show, and TJPW does their own show. The USBA guy makes a good point. The biggest issue right now are Visa's international talent are having an issue getting approved. So absolutely, that is definitely a hindrance, and who knows what the hell it's going to be like in 2027.
Oh, it's just getting worse. So yeah, I mean, I feel for people. It's very frustrating.
It is very hard. But so I was going to go back to, I screenshot this from Alan's Substack, because he kept making the point of how WrestleMania used to be for the fans. And now with WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia, fans are a backdrop. That's all there are. The show is not for them.
Nope.
The show is no longer for the fans. And so he said, the set will be enormous. The stars will shine. The feed will look flawless. The ritual is different now. WrestleMania is no longer a stage you travel to. It's a symbol for sale. The hardest truth sits here. If the company can sell this, it can sell anything, a tradition, a crowd, a history it once called sacred. The show that promised to bring the people together now reads like proof that the people are optional. If the show can be sold without you, what does your loyalty buy now? So I would encourage you, if you can, to go read the entire piece. It is lengthy, but it's really good. And of course, the Brandon Thurston. I consider just reading Brandon Thurston's article on there. It's long.
I'm gonna have to go read that, because I really appreciate his perspective. He does.
Both of them were really, really well done in what they were talking about, and they're correct. That fans don't matter. It is the money is what matters.
Nikki.
Probably. Probably. Jelly Roll will probably
Nikki, that's
he will probably
good.
be performing. He'll probably
Pop.
perform night 1 and wrestle night 2. Because I believe it is,
Probably.
I have not heard confirmation, but I believe it is still I assume it's still a 2-night event. Because I asked that, I was like, is it going to be 2 nights, or are we just going to go back to the old like 8-hour formula? Are they going to do like a SmackDown the night before, which is what they've been doing, like when they do like King and Queen of the Ring as one of the pay-per-views that they do there, and then they do the Crown Jewel, and they typically do a SmackDown the night before. So I assume that's still going to be the case. You're going to fly over all of the stuff. And so apparently I did watch Worlds Collide because I was helping with coverage for it Friday. And apparently, because it was in Vegas, and the video package is shown, and the fans booed and chanted, "You sold out." Granted, as somebody pointed out, that's just one arena. They don't speak for everybody. However, it does show
they reacted that way, at least.
It does show that, fans really, there are certain fans who really have an issue with this and what they're doing. And I mean, they don't care. And you and I have been talking about this since Endeavor became a thing with with TKO forming and then combining UFC and WWE. They were going to run WWE.
And the people that are in charge of that.
Right. They're going to
on Dana White.
It's all about money. They don't care about
Ari Emanuel.
I mean, we've already talked about how people were going to get priced out of events. It's already happening. And then last week, a guy ran into Nick Khan at Hollywood Horror Nights of all places, and recorded his, the interaction and asked if it was okay to record. Nick said yes. And he was like, basically talking about how expensive tickets are. And he's like, yeah, I know. They don't care.
I know.
And then Mark Shapiro, I think he's the COO, forget of which company, but he said, well, Vince priced for families to be able to attend. He didn't really market he didn't really maximize the profits he could have. So that's what we're doing. So they do not care about you. They're telling you to your face, we don't care if you can afford our shows. We don't care if you can bring your family to our events. We don't give a shit. We're not here for you. We're here for money. We don't care. And so, and people have brought up the point that this could potentially set up somebody in Saudi Arabia purchasing WWE at some point.
I didn't even want to think
and
about
maybe
that.
even UFC, and there were rumors before it was sold. There were rumors that Saudi Arabia was going to buy WWE, that Vince had sold to them, and then those rumors ended up not being true. However, this certainly opens the door for it.
They were in the hunt for that deal for sure.
Right, because and then now you have the Live Golf stuff. They're involved, like they're having UFC fights there. They're having MMA fights there. They're having because they're sports watching. So they're there's the soccer
they've
team.
been having the UFC fights there for a bit now, haven't they?
Right, they have.
Fights.
Yeah, so right. Daza said comes to something that Vince was better for the fans in this situation. Yeah, which is insane to think about. And then I saved this because I came across this quote earlier, and it kind of just is on brand for everything else, especially with this announcement. Triple H was on something called Nightcap, and he said, WWE is not the sport. We're a movie about the sport. And then he goes on to say, I say this a lot of times when people don't understand if we're talking to network executives, they're trying to figure out what we are. I say we are less boxing, more Rocky. We are not the sport. We're a movie about the sport. Rocky is really a love story. It just happens to have boxing as a background and the metaphor for all the things that he has to overcome and do. Our business, when you talk about the emotion, you talk about the storytelling, you talk about all of those things. That's really where it resonates. It's why our business is evergreen. It's the story it's the spectacle. It's all of those things. That's where we're different. We're a spectacle and storytelling. So once again, they're telling you the wrestling is third or fourth. You are even further beyond that.
He just said, this is like beyond sports entertainment. He just said wrestling is a movie or a TV show.
Or as the fans like to say, it's cinema.
No, it's not.
And so if
I've seen trauma films better than some of that crap. Okay?
If you like entertainment with a little bit of wrestling thrown in, the WWE is for you. If you prefer wrestling more than promos, then there are a multitude of other companies. There's all kinds of independent wrestling. There's obviously AEW, there's TNA, which is right under WWE. So if you're getting like WWE light now, there's New Japan, there's Noah.
As a Rocky fan, I need to interject here, as Sly Stallone has been on the freaking record about writing that script, and I, as a screenwriter in a previous life, know all about how long and hard and ridiculous he had to like give away. That is no joke. He's like sold his dog, he sold everything, he shopped that thing around. That was an underdog story. That was a story about overcoming the odds. It had nothing. It was, yes, there was a love story as a B plot in Rocky, but you're
apparently to Triple H, it's the whole story. It's
no.
Story.
Triple H continues to be full of shit.
Yes. As he said, what is he even talking about?
Don't you dare. You keep Rocky out of your stupid BS carny mouth.
Right.
You don't get to compare your bananas, blood money, sellout, cronyist BS to Rocky, sir. That is a working class person's movie that belongs to the masses, and you keep Rocky out your damn mouth, is how I feel about that. So that's where I stand on that. And I want to repeat that this is a government that bone-sawed a journalist to death for speaking out against their crimes against humanity and their treatment of humans.
They lured him into
an embassy
to murder him,
to bone-saw him to death, to torture him to death.
Right. And when that happened, so the Allen's article points out about how they were like, their response was, we're monitoring the situation. Show still happened. John Cena got pulled. Sami Zayn refused to go for a while. Kevin Owens didn't go, but as he pointed out, there's plenty of mid-card wrestlers who will fill up the show. They won't, it doesn't matter. The show will go on. They don't care. And then I Make Beats said WWE isn't an issue because they are more entertainment based, but it's all the morally corrupt shit. They just don't care about, and they want
kind of exemplify what's wrong with our cultural discourse and the cultural narrative right now, that it just embodies what's wrong with everything.
Yes. And so
Daza, thank you for agreeing.
Daza says Stallone was broken, held out selling the script unless he got to direct and star in it, and then he said sorry he didn't direct it. And then Crash says that at least it'll be clear what's been worth your time and money, and you could boycott. Again, like, I hope I'm no longer having to watch that company by 20.
I think, Sam, that we're going to keep speaking in the universe, and you will be fine, and you will not be covering.
And regardless, even if I am still covering it, I will still
have to defer on this.
Have these conversations about it. I will.
Well, this is like I'm not going to watch WrestleMania.
I will never willingly watch a show that's in Saudi. I don't.
Well, that's it. I'm not watching WrestleMania.
Willingly want to watch what I watch. I mean, I don't want to willingly watch these SmackDowns at Brock Lesnar. He opened the show on Friday, and because I knew I didn't have to cover it, I changed the channel. I was like, I'm turning it back to the Braves game. I'll flip it back when he's done. And they did a little funny skit with him because let's make him human, because R-Truth is the only one who can make him crack. So R-Truth, who remember he was supposed to be serious, and then that lasted all of 2 weeks. It lasted WWE time. Yeah, he was involved in a segment with Brock Lesnar, trying to make him break because he's the only person that can make him laugh. And so they did. And then he got F, apparently, because I went back and read the results because clearly I did not watch it. Apparently, surprisingly, he F5'd R-Truth. And then apparently as he was getting out of the ring, apparently he ripped his pants. Brock Lesnar did.
Don't blow my mind with the original.
Which is so interesting because he came to SmackDown to see John Cena, even though the Friday before they made very clear all show long, this is John Cena's last SmackDown ever. But apparently Brock is too dumb and didn't know that and came to SmackDown. Anyway.
I'm closing
So they
my
want
eyes
your
because
fans
if
to
I
think
roll
that-
them any further back into my head, they might get caught there, and I might just like they might get, and I might have to like bash myself on the back of the head.
Yeah. So luckily, I didn't have to watch that.
I'm
And then
I'm that meme with the eyes are just rolling
Yeah.
around in their head right now because, and
So-
it's not the worst part is how unsurprising it is.
No, yeah, right. It's completely, all of this was completely unsurprising. We all knew where this was going. The Brock Lesnar thing
Literally
was
on
unsurprising.
brand.
Yeah, and so I didn't hate on Brock because I told them, I was like, I perpetually hate Brock Lesnar. I'm sure you do not want me writing about it every single week. I wrote about it the week prior, and so somebody else wrote about it this week. So in so not this past loved hated, but the one before where I did hate on Brock Lesnar, somebody responded on Twitter to Wrestling Inc. and said, you think you guys are on such a, and I think I actually talked about this last week because I talked about it with Collins. They were like, you think you're on such a moral high road by hating Brock Lesnar? Yes, I do.
Yeah, you're correct.
We all
You're
do
absolutely
because
right.
of the things that man is, that he is named or mentioned, referenced in Janelle Grant's
44
lawsuit
times.
over 40 times. Yes, I am. I do think I'm on a moral high road by hating Brock Lesnar. And the thing is, I've always hated him way before I knew how terrible of a person he is. I'd never liked him. I could not stand him. I've never liked him. And so now he's just proving my point, and he's giving me a reason to. So I just don't. Yeah, and Maria says, I hate it for the female talent that's got to wear ridiculous outfits because the Saudi Arabia culture is a little sexist. They're a lot sexist. And they also, like, I know she has to, but Bianca had this comment the other day about how Saudi Arabia is progressing with women and how she's glad to be a small part of it. They barely let women drive there. You have to have permission.
You need your husband.
You have to have permission. You need a man's permission to even attend the wrestling shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just, and I know she has to say what she has to say because they probably, I'm sure they're given scripts. And it's unfortunate that they have to play into that lie because it's a huge lie.
Well, that's just I mean,
with wrestling, WWE being there and wrestling is not, it's not doing what they want, what they say it's doing. It is not. Sure, is it inspiring some girls to become wrestlers? Perhaps. I mean, that's not the same.
Yeah, but where in Saudi Arabia is there a gym that's training women to wrestle?
Right. Like, look at Mansoor. Mansoor is Saudi Arabian, and they did do tryouts. That's how WWE signed him, and then that he came up through the ranks. So he is the lone success story that's come out of Saudi Arabia, but he's very vocal about what happens there. And in other countries, he's very vocal about, Gaza and Palestine and things of that nature as well. So I appreciate Mansoor is very open about those things. But like he's a man. Like there's not been a successful women's wrestler that has come from the Saudi Arabia stuff. I believe I want to say they did sign a woman who was, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, and she was I think she was in NXT for a little bit. I don't remember if she ever made it to TV or if she was just doing like the PC stuff and the house shows, and then she is no longer with the company. Which I guess you could say that's still a success that she even made it that far, but that is few and far between, and they're not having the progression that they think that they're having. And I know they're being, like Nikki said, she's being forced to say that. They're being
forced to say it, basically. Yeah. I mean, that's their job to say it. They have to say it. I think anybody who reads any relevant piece of journalistic integrity information or, whatever on Saudi Arabia will know. It doesn't take, Google it. Literally Google it. Just the Wikipedia is plenty. It'll tell you what you need to know.
Or even read the Brandon Thurston article. He references some real, but he references some real life things that happened there. Like some human rights things. So that even if you can't do a basic, Google search, do not don't ask ChatGPT. Don't use AI.
No.
It's
I'm
terrible.
just
It's
saying,
terrible. No, I'm just saying. So if you do it, go Google it. Don't ask
Please.
ChatGPT. It's terrible for
Don't
the
ask the
environment.
robots.
It's terrible for the environment. Don't do that. And you can also, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, also Google why is AI bad for the planet? Because then that's very eye-opening about how terrible it is. And the places where they're putting these centers are in the U.S. are in primarily towns where there are a huge population of Black and brown people. So you can also go read about that as well. But don't ask ChatGPT. And Daza says, in Saudi Arabia, you can be imprisoned and lashed for having same-sex relations. Exactly. Which is, and I believe there are no, unless there's somebody I can't think of off the top of my head, there are no longer any openly LGBTQ wrestlers in WWE because they released the last, because I believe Sonya may have been the last one. Unless there's somebody I just can't remember off the top of my head. I believe Sonya was the last openly gay person who was on their roster. And so I guess they won't have that issue. But if you're
the problem with normalizing it there is it has the reverberation effect of normalizing it here too. And and with everything that's going on, that's a scary prospect.
Right. Definitely. And so before we wrap up the WWE stuff, we had some more news come out yesterday. Andrade is no longer with the company. Came out of nowhere. He had 18 months left on his contract. And Sean Ross Sapp said that he was tipped off by somebody from Body Slam that he had been moved to the alumni section, started doing some digging. Apparently this has been in the works for about a week or so. He did not ask for his release. Apparently he disappeared for weeks and nobody could contact him. And that's part of what led to it. But then there also appears to be that there may have been a disciplinary issue that is also behind him leaving. Obviously, this is a very new story. Like, this only happened 24 hours
with Andrade?
ago. Yeah.
Weird, because he's never punched somebody backstage at a company before.
Right. Yeah, apparently.
Oh, wait, that did happen.
So apparently AEW knew nothing about it. I know that they have said in the past that he left on good terms. I don't know. I guess it depends on why he left. And, you know.
Sure. He left on good terms. He definitely left.
And so, but yeah, and so somebody made the joke last night that they added Sammy Guevara to LFI, and what if they bring Andrade back? Because Andrade was in LFI. Andrade, if you forgot, Andrade was trying to get fired because he wanted to go back to WWE.
Really hard.
He instigated a very public argument on Twitter with Sammy Guevara that led to him punching Sammy in an attempt to get fired. Tony realized what was happening and was like, no, you're going to sit out your contract, go home. And he sat at home for like over a year getting paid because he was trying to get fired because he wanted to be back. At the time, he was still married to Charlotte. That was part of the reason he wanted to go back. And then...
Are they not together anymore?
No, they got divorced.
Jeez, God, how fast?
Where have you been, Mel?
That happened fast.
They were married for I believe 3 years, but they got divorced. The divorce was they got divorced earlier this
3 whole years. Sorry.
I think so. So
wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
So, and like it was interesting because they had been using him in a tag team with Rey Fenix, and it was actually a really solid tag team. And they were supposed to have wrestled the Wyatts at Clash in Paris. But I don't know. I don't know if that's when they couldn't find him or couldn't reach him. Like the timeline's still being, figured out. But they were supposed to wrestle at that match. It clearly didn't happen because he was nowhere to be found. Rey Fenix did wrestle. Sami Zayn is the current U.S. champion, and he's doing open challenges. John Cena gave him his blessing because John Cena was the one who started doing the open challenges for that title back when he had it 10 years ago. And so Rey Fenix answered the challenge, and nobody really thought, oh, where's Andrade? Like, I think we were just like, oh, he's just answering the open challenge. But yes.
That is
so this is a story that is still developing. But yeah, apparently a lot of people didn't know he was leaving. It sounds like now more information is coming out because Dave said, hold on, let me see. I think I still have the tweak. So, because Dave talked about it as well, and he said, hang on, let me open this. He said, I do know that it was a discipline thing. It was not his doing at all. It wasn't like, oh, he's not being used well, so he's unhappy. And then Dave says, I'm positive he was unhappy, but it wasn't him asking out. He wasn't fired until today, but a couple of weeks ago, there was a disciplinary thing. All I know is that it was a TV shoot, and he was told to go home and has not been used since. I was told it's not drug related, it's not alcohol related, it's not marriage related. Nobody would tell me what it was, but it was enough to be sent home. So this is a developing story. We shall see. I
wonder if he refused to like job to somebody or something.
I don't know. Listen, that he's been losing. Like they have not booked him well. The best thing that
maybe he got sick of that and said, no, I'm not going to do it.
That's his MO. Andrade. Somebody said he might be the last territory worker there is. He finds ways to get out of his contract.
No do job.
When he doesn't want to wrestle, he finds a way out. But last fall, he had a really great best of 7 series with Carmelo Hayes, and then they can't book Carmelo Hayes for shit either. They can't book Andrade for shit. They finally got Andrade doing something, and then whatever happened. Maybe this wasn't another attempt to get fired. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming days. But that's where that is. I loved La Sombra. I love the NXT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
His C2 matches that he had last year were good. I personally don't want him to go back to AEW. I don't think he wants to be there. I think he can have good matches when he wants to. It's the matter of, does he want to wrestle? I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to CMLL, which of course could be a gateway into AEW/ROH eventually. But I mean, I think that he's close. If he's not already 40, he's close to it. Like, I don't know how much longer he can keep going.
Well, and he's problematic. He continues to have work problems. That's a liability. Right. I mean, I hate to say it, but businesses have insurance they have to worry about. Right. You can't have guys like that on your roll.
Right. Yeah, I was like, I personally would not want to see him in AEW again just because we've already done this. He didn't like it.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think there's enough talent there.
Yeah, right.
That where is he going to go? Where are you going to put him? You can put him in LFI. But
why?
I mean, yeah, he is a solid wrestler, but he's clearly problematic.
They don't need him in AEW.
That's the thing. And so I don't know what he's planning to do. Maria said maybe he can go to AAA. Oh wait, never mind. Which is why maybe CMLL he can go back and do, like, maybe he goes back and does the La Sombra character. And then maybe he makes an appearance. Maybe he makes appearances here and there.
Maybe he quits wrestling entirely and goes out and becomes like Ricky Martin or something.
Who knows? But yeah, so that is that's the update there that kind of came out of nowhere yesterday. Weird. Like, it came out of nowhere, but like nobody was surprised because
that's weird. It's just
his
weird
past behavior. Nobody was really all that surprised.
Well, yeah, he is a problem child. That's like been his thing.
Yep. Yes. So
weird.
Yep. So that is the WWE portion of this conversation or
closing that out.
Show. We'll move on over to AEW, who is doing this thing where they're having a tournament for Kazuchika Okada's unified championship, but he was in the eliminator match himself. I don't know why Tony does the things he does. I don't understand why he does it. It makes no sense to me. Because at first when I saw it, I was like, hell yeah, Okada versus Michael Oku. And then I was Then I looked at it and I was like, for the title he already has, why are we not just doing the match? Why is Michael Oku just like, why are we not just doing a random match?
That is a weird way to like bring him out there and like
that. He made his Collision debut in a match. We clearly knew that's
he was going to lose.
It's a 3-match bracket where you can figure out who's going to win. just from looking at it. So there were 2 matches last night. So the first match was Anthony Bowens versus Takeshita, which are really great match. And this is the matches that Bowens should be having. This is what I want from him.
I agree with that.
And I don't like that they're teasing putting the Acclaim back together. That the Acclaim was not working. Max Caster, if they do bring this back, do not let that man have a live mic. Please. That got him into so much trouble. We don't
need that.
So
the world does not need that right now.
No, because somebody made the comment, thank goodness Max Caster did not have a live mic after what happened this week, because there's no telling what the hell he would have said. So
he doesn't have any internal monologue. He doesn't know how to.
I don't like where they're going. I don't like the point of breaking them up just to put them back together. Of course, yes, the Anthony Bowens thing is not working with what they're doing. Like, I like the 5-star tool player. Like, that stuff I like. It's just for whatever reason it's not clicking. But I don't think the answer is throw him back with Max Caster.
Please no.
Don't do that. But they were hinting very hard at it last night with the in-ring segment they did with Jerry Lynn. It sounds like that's where they're going. I'm not a fan of it at all. I don't like it. So obviously Takeshita advances. And then we get Okada versus Michael Oku. Fantastic match. Michael Oku almost died on a drop kick.
Yeah.
He was sitting on the barricade. I mean, on the turnbuckle. He got drop kicked off and landed really hard. Amira, who was his partner, his manager, she was like, yeah, he does that. Because people are like, is he okay? Yeah, he does that. And so the show was filmed on Thursday, and he wrestled last night in the UK, and people were like, how are you in 2 countries at once? And so he tweeted a picture of Rick Rude when he was on Nitro that night that he was on both Raw and
that's awesome.
Nitro. Yeah, it was really funny. I thought it was really great. But the match was fantastic. Okada, especially because he was dodging rainmakers like crazy.
It was really good. No, Michael Oku was good.
4 tries, very good. He took him 4 tries to get the rain, before he could even get the rainmaker on him. So he made him look great. Oku is fantastic.
He should, Laurent, but he probably won't. He's a little crazy. The kid is he's a superstar. See, I'm froze on me. I don't know if she can tell she froze on me or not. Is this one of those times where the internet goes down? Are you guys going to help me co-host the show? It's really fun. So everyone else liked Michael Oku too. He is good. He's really good. I know that Dave's favorite match from 2 years ago was Will Ospreay versus Oku, which makes me sad to not have Will Ospreay available anymore. But I think, putting him in a match where he's automatically going to, we all know he's going to lose is probably not the best way to do it. I know she froze. I saw that. She's in 2 places at once now. Oh, there she goes. So now you guys are stuck with me, and you can help me co-host. So that's fine. We'll see if she comes back, and then we'll work it out. She had to go to Panda Fest so bad, she totally ditched me is what happened. So that's okay, though. So let's see. We were talking about the Unified Championship. Yes, right. Pop for the Fosbury flop. I love the Fosbury flop. I will always pop for that. Yeah. We've got some here. Danielson's level of selling makes everyone think they're written off, then make a comeback. Danielson on the mic has been revelatory. I think leaving Tony Schiavone on the interviews and getting him onto getting Bryan Danielson onto the microphone has been awesome. He really does know the sport well enough, and I think that's a good utilization of him. I don't know if anybody caught the article about him this week, but he was talking about how bad his neck was for real at the end there, and it was bad. So I'm glad that he's finding, I know that, yep, he is, and he's making a big difference. I think he's a refreshing guy. Like, it's a nice new voice to have on. So I like having him there, moving Tony around to do interviews. The ladies are doing a good job. Yeah, you guys, that's true. Yeah. Some of these don't drop people on their head, I think, is the lesson that we need to learn from our thingies here. So, but yeah. So what else were we going to talk about today? I don't know what Tony said, so I'm going to have to wait for Sam on that one. But I'm still waiting to hear from her. So who else is hosting with me here? Dynamite did have some great matches. It's true. This was a good Dynamite week, and we are 1 week away. So yesterday was 1 week from the All Out pay-per-view, which we are going to be doing our pre-show on that Saturday because it's going to be on Saturday, the 20th. And I do believe that we decided that we were going to be going at 11 p.m. Eastern. So next Saturday, the 20th of September at try that again. Next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern is when we're most likely going to be running the show for the pre-show for the All Out show. So that's when you guys will, and we'll update you on our social medias about that. So you guys, what are we talking about? We did get a lot. That's a great point. We did get a lot of women's matches this week, including the ones on, where are you? Where did you just go, Ron? I saw that. We got 2 women's matches on Dynamite. We're getting 2 next week. And, I hope so. Who I really love is, I love Triangle of Madness. I think that having that women's faction has been too much fun. Like, they're great. Triangle Madness. There's enough women's factions that are starting up that you're starting to get me on board with your potentially later on soon having women's tag belts potentially. So Sam made it back. She's live.
Apparently we dropped Nikki and I both dropped Wi-Fi, and then it connected on the phone and then wouldn't let me. I was even going to just run it as a hotspot on my phone and it wouldn't let me. And so
that's okay. These guys are helping me. Talking about the matches from this week.
We were trying to we were debating on restarting the modem and all that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's okay. Everyone here, we were just talking about the week and again about getting I
was like, I haven't even got to Tony Khan's comments yet, and they're already trying to kick me out of here before I get to Tony Khan.
That's what it was. We knew it. See, the next thing on our list was we were going to talk real quick about Tony's comments on the women's thing, and they were like, we got to get Sam out of here and leave Mel but that's okay because we have a great community, and we were just talking about the matches, and we were just mentioning how many women's matches we did get this week.
We're getting 2 next Wednesday.
And that's also what Laurent said.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting, which is really interesting.
And I love Triangle Madness. Very excited. Very excited about these factions that are growing.
They're bringing in.
Uh-oh, is she going to run away on me again? Sam's internet really is feuding with her today. I don't know what that's about. You guys know how it is. These things just oh, Dynamite's 3 hours next week. That's crazy. So are they doing 3 hours of Dynamite and no Collision, or are they no, that's right, because the Collision is going to be that tailgate thing, is what that whole thing was about. So they're doing the tailgate thing on Saturday before. That's why we're going at 11. That's why we wanted to get there, because the Collision thing starts at 2, and us, we can be long-winded. So, yeah, I like Alex Windsor. She's great. I'm really enjoying her. That's right. I remember now because Sam has to be on coverage next week for the Collision show because it's on that. It's what it's called, a tailgate party or something on the pay-per-view day. So, let's see. What do we got here? We got Tony has to be serious with women's wrestling, regardless of how hard he fights against it. He's pulling pointers from Stardom, realizing that women can have their own factions. true story. And the two that are forming right now are very natural. The thing that's been great about them is they're organic. They aren't trying to be forced together like maybe the Outcasts felt like, and some of the stuff that felt more WWE, for a lack of a better way of putting it. And Julia Hart needs like the biggest high five ever. This is like weird for me sometimes. Like sometimes I sit down and go, that girl started as a cheerleader. What she's done, it's really great. Like, and she's done it naturally. She's done it. She's with Tekla. They've been great. He does think like an old man. That's kind of the zeitgeist. That's how people run business. So, lucky you. I am very excited for you. That is I went to Forbidden Door 2 at that venue. It's a great venue, and that town is a lot of fun. It's a big New York City, Toronto. It's a little overpriced, but it's a lot of fun, and you will enjoy yourself. So, let's see. See, really don't want Sam talking about. I don't even know what comments he made. She's way more on top of this. She really has to, and I think that them bringing her back in. Speaking of that, I have to make note of this because one of my favorite things Toni Storm said on commentary this week was that she called Harley Cameron Jim Henson with tits. And that killed me. I was dead. So I largely need to, what's this? Needs to, yeah, that's, I think, what Sam was going to be getting at, Laurent, is he's been talking about maybe we'll have a C2, but maybe not we'll have a C2. So I'm not really sure if the C2 is going to be coming for ladies or not. And I think that's what Sam has the info on.
Okay, I'm back for now.
He doesn't want you to tell everyone what he said.
Well, I'm going to do it now.
Do it now.
Well,
I set it up. I teed you up. I knew it. When you popped in,
right.
I teed you up.
She did. So,
welcome back, Nikki.
Obviously, the conversation about the C2 happening for women has been brought up a lot, just like Blood and Guts. He was asked about it again and had some comments that a lot of people were, including myself, were super annoyed with.
Oh, you're cracky.
So he went on to Q93, which is a radio station, and he says. So he was asked about, if they were going to do one, and he emphasized once again the importance of having a healthy division. Where have we heard that before? And he said, we've got the women's world title and the TBS title. I think that the Continental would be something very interesting. He acknowledged past setbacks, noting he had some injuries happen in the women's division earlier this year at the All-In pay-per-view. Despite that, he expressed optimism about the tournament's potential, saying, I think it would be a great thing if we get the division healthy, all of our top fighters ready to go. That could be a really great thing. Khan highlighted the intensity of the event and his openness to it, stating, it's a very intense tournament with matches every week. I'm very open to it, especially if we can get all the top wrestlers healthy to compete. To which everybody has asked, who is not healthy? This has been his excuse for not doing Blood and Guts. Well, people get injured. People get injured. We can't, we need the women to be healthy. What woman is injured right now that cannot compete in this? What top woman?
That's stupid. I'm sorry, that's stupid anyway. Will Ospreay's out with an injury. Kenny Omega took time off for injury. How many men are injured right now? We're talking about Adam Cole might be gone forever.
Nick Wayne got injured in a segment with Cope and Christian.
Hook
not
was
even
injured.
In a wrestling match. He missed a pay-per-view match because he got injured in a random segment.
Hook was
Mark
injured
Davis,
until he came back with this new spooky Hook, which I like, but
he had a concussion. Mark Davis broke his foot in a random match.
Is hurt, but they're still bringing him in and having him do spot.
And he's back in Japan now. But you have, and if that's the case, if you have injured women, Nyla Rose has been asking to be on TV. Fans have been asking. I see multiple times a week asking where Nyla Rose is. Why is she not on my TV?
Yeah, me too, actually. You know
Where
what?
is
It's so
Nyla
funny.
Rose? Where is Yuka Sakazaki? Where there's Sheeta. There's so many women. And if you're going to even use that excuse,
well, they just brought Riho back.
Britt Baker's still on your roster. You haven't found anything for her to do. Do I necessarily want to see her on TV? No. But if that's your argument that you don't have healthy enough women, Britt Baker's there. You have people and you have women in ROH. You constantly switch them back and forth between the brands anyway. What's the difference between where's Deanna is back in ROH for right now? You've got Taya. You've got so many women that you can put. So even if you didn't have your top women, you have women who can step up.
Toni Storm's last match was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
They on a big pay-per-view. Like, who cares?
They just did a Philly street fight.
Right.
They've done multiple hardcore matches. Pac tore his pec in a regular match. Orange Cassidy did the same thing. So Stop using this excuse. If you don't want, and I know it's because he can't just be like, well, I don't want the women to have one. But it feels like that's what you're saying because you always make an excuse and it's always
it is what he
why are you tweeting? You treat these women like they're fragile, delicate little flowers when they're out here having street fights all the time and bleeding. And God, we can't have women bleeding. If it's that
brother,
put gummy
I'm sorry to tell you, friend, we bleed for 5 days once a month for most of our lives. It's just part of the life.
Yeah, and exactly. Injuries have been a much bigger issue for the men than the women. And yes, you can say it's because they have more, a deeper men's roster, which yes, is also true. But like, quit saying this. Quit using that as your excuse for everything for when it comes to women. Because now I don't even know that we're getting a blood and guts match at this rate.
I think it's cultural. I think Tony's background, and I think that
I know he doesn't like intergender wrestling, and we got a couple of mixed matches out of it.
But this isn't even intergender. We're not asking for intergender. No, we're asking for all women.
You claimed back when you started this company, along with Kenny and Cody and the Bucks, y'all claimed we're the alternative. We're going to listen to the fans. You're not listening to the fans. The fans have been begging you to let the women have a C2. They've been begging you to have a blood and guts. We've been begging you for all of these things. And the answer is always, well, they're not healthy enough. They might get hurt because they're delicate little flowers. We can't risk them getting hurt. I think it's funny because when you have these women who are more Joshi style than they've ever been.
Yeah, right.
They hit hard. Jamie Hayter's tagline is literally Hayter hits hard. What do you expect them to do? Why can you not put them in a cage to let them do that? And yes, I know Ortiz got super hurt and was out for like a year. And I'm not saying
I was there for that.
Of course, we're not stupid. We know it's wrestling. I'm not going to be surprised if a wrestler gets hurt in a wrestling match, whatever type of match it is. But to use that constantly to hold the women back, you have it. It's 2025 going into 2026. You are in year six. And you have never had women main event a pay-per-view. You can't even do that for them. So I mean, and even though you have Mercedes, who is main evented Wrestle Freaking Mania.
I think it's weird because
you had Deanna Purrazzo, who has main evented multiple times in TNA, and you can't put Toni Storm, you can't put them in the main event, and now you can't put them in a C2. And I get it; those tournaments are brutal, and there's a lot of matches, but they're more like they're more likely to get hurt in a blood and guts match than they are in the C2. But that women injuries happen. They were injured. Look at Jay White. Jay White got injured in a match with Kevin Knight this year, and Kevin Knight, he stepped up and became a huge part. So it feels like a cop out, and it feels very lazy. And
it's just a double standard. It's what it is.
And it does sound like I'm not saying he's totally against it, because this quote, I mean, maybe it's just Tony just being Tony, because it's what he does, listening to this man answer many questions. He has said, sure, it could happen. He's not closing it down, but it feels like you're shutting it down when you say they're not healthy enough. They're not, they might get in. We can't have blood and guts because they might get injured.
That's like saying that you can't play a football game next Sunday because your team might get injured. Literally, right. NFL, like these are injury-prone sports, folks. Everybody's playing hurt, as it were. Right. We all play hurt. That's these kinds of things. Juice broke his leg. Juice broke his neck in San Francisco.
Right.
And at that event at the Cow Palace a few years ago.
Right. He sure did.
Yeah, I'm not like advocating for anyone getting hurt, but people get hurt in wrestling all the time. It's not
like, literally. That's what I'm just saying. I don't like Nick Wayne literally got hurt in a segment where he was not wrestling, and you're telling me that women can't have
got hurt for jumping off a thing.
Right, exactly. So
when he was with AEW,
women can't have a C2 because of that. That's such a cop out, and it feels like. You don't, and I'm not trying to put Tony's words in Tony's mouth or say what I think he, just
but you're giving
hearing these comments, and it's always when I read that I rolled my eyes and I was like, this is the same thing he said about blood and guts. When every time women are asked about blood and he's asked about a women's blood and guts match, that's what he says.
They just kicks the can down the road.
It's really hard. They could get injured. You can get injured doing anything in wrestling. We know this. And so it just feels like you don't want to. So you come up with a dumb reason. Yeah, exactly. Dante Martin fucked his leg all the way up in that ladder match.
He sure did. That was brutal.
Like we said, we're not advocating for women to get injured. We're advocating for you to give them the same opportunities.
Well, I just think it's interesting because
it's so deep. Like, what's the problem? Why can't you?
It's been 2 men. And actually, it was the first person who even suggested the idea of a women's blood and guts match to me was when we were talking to Jeff Hawkins about it, like 3 years ago when we were co-hosting the Dynamite show, babysitting him, talking to him about. Right. He was the one who said, "Don't you think it would be awesome to have a women's blood and guts match?" And also, John has mentioned it to me because he's like, "We need a steel cage match. These ladies need." They need one of their own.
Right. I don't see, and especially with the way they've built this up and with the women they have now with like the Triangle of Madness and Megan Bain and Jamie Hayter and stuff, like, how do you not do a blood and guts with these women? Like
Megan Bain, Tekla.
You don't have to put Toni Storm in this. You don't have to put Mercedes. You have other women that need to be built up just as high as those two.
I don't think it would be. I actually think you would keep Toni out of the blood and guts until unless she did something that was storyline driven. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the blood and guts matches, we've talked about who should be in it anyway, and it's not Toni or Mercedes. You've got to give these other women other opportunity. And there's a wrestler named Nikki Excess, and she wrestled. I think she wrestled on ROH before, and she does indie stuff. And she came up in my timeline, and she tweeted that quote and was like, "Well, sign me, and you'll have, enough. You'll have extra women." Like,
I think it needs
more women. There's rumor. They used Isla Dawn in the UK. Dakota Kai is out there. Like, Nyla Rose is sitting right. Like, you have so many women you're not even using. Nyla Rose is right there. People ask for her week in and week out where she's at. Why is she not wrestling? Yuka has wrestled every once in a while. You've got Emmy. You have so many women that's not a good enough reason. You got to come up with something else because it's not working.
Agree.
And so, I just, it's so annoying. And Ross says they listen to the fans except for when it comes to anything involving the women, except for when people said they didn't like Mina Shirakawa's new song and he changed it by the end of the match. That's like the only time. And and it's like the women want, and that's the thing, the women want to do these spots in these matches. They're asking for this. Like, you have women who are it's not just fans. Like, you have the women who wrestle for you who are asking for.
Well, look at them. Look at the way they are wrestling when they are in the ring. They're wrestling like they want it. Right.
And Crash says, unless they're given the opportunity, there's always going to be that glass ceiling there, and it ain't to protect them. No, it isn't. It isn't. It's just, it's holding them back. If you are truly the alternative, then let these women do these things that the fans are asking for, the women talent are asking for. Just, you've got to let us do it. Let them do it. That's what the fans want.
Give the people what they want. That's what you're supposed to do.
The Dave Bautista gif or meme. I maybe so the Hollywood ending was the main event, just wasn't last spot on the card. Fair enough, because for me that was my main event too. Yeah, I maybe said with the amount of women's street fights in AEW, wouldn't that be a risk anyway? Moot point.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Lauren said he's gonna have to do it at some point. The roster's too talented to be subjected to 2019 booking in 2025. 100%, Lauren.
Nailed it.
Lauren is all about signing more women to both rosters. He needs to figure out how to use them. But I just thank you, I make beats. I'm just very annoyed by this subject.
No, she is very, very. She knows these things. She's famous wise.
We've had, not we as in me and Tony directly, but we as in wrestling media,
the
wrestling
population
fans.
Of the community of wrestling fans.
We have been telling Tony this this is a conversation that's been going on for years, and it's always, well, I mean, and looking back at it, maybe should the 2019 women have done a blood and guts? Maybe not. But there's no excuse with this current roster you have.
Especially with the new, stronger, the way that the women have leveled up, the way they've leveled up. They've leveled up. The women are, Toni Storm is quite possibly the most popular wrestler on your roster right now. Right.
Still, and she's been champion for how long? And sure, and I understand, some people are tired of her. And I love her, but I think it's, they've got
I
to.
Say you leave that. I know that this is not a popular opinion. This is my unpopular opinion. I think you leave that belt on her until it wears out. Because people freaking love her.
They do, but you're holding other women back, and that's not fair.
I agree with that, but I think you still, if she's drawing, and we have to
She can draw without the title, though. She doesn't need the title to be a draw.
Fair.
You're holding back the rest of the division when you have had the same, because that was the same argument with Roman Reigns. Tony has, granted, she is making women, and she's not like she's having bad matches or anything like that, but Tony has had that title for nearly 2 years, and the only time she didn't have it, Mariah had it, the title was still about Tony. And so you've got to get that title away from her. Some people think it's going to happen at All Out, and that's why it's a 4-way. We'll talk about predictions next week. Yeah. When we're here for the All Out pre-show, which will be early because the show is early, because now somebody asked the question, is there a 0 hour and a tailgate brawl? I don't believe so. I believe it's the tailgate brawl only, because the tailgate brawl is at 2:00. The main card starts at 3. I don't know that they're doing a 0 hour beforehand, but I could be wrong. As of right now, I don't believe so. I believe that it's just the tailgate countdown is at 2:00, because originally the show was still happening at 7 or was still happening at 8, and so they made that at 7 because it was going head to head with WrestlePalooza, but then they moved the show up. So I could be wrong about that, but I don't remember them advertising a 0 hour, so that remains to be seen. Either way, we'll be going up against it probably, because the plan is to I think we decided on 11 a.m. 11 a.m.
And I actually did mention that when you were lost in space. I did mention to everybody that we are planning, and we will make sure and put this on our socials, but we are planning to go at 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, the 20th, prior to the All Out pay-per-view. So we will be on Saturday and not Sunday next week. It will be the pay-per-view.
On Saturday. Yes, it will be next Saturday. We will be here. Because I have to help with live coverage and to get myself time in between. We decided to go earlier, and our goal is to be done by 1:00. So we may be running up against, they may try to counter book us, but they got scared last time, and Brian Danielson did not end up being on the pre-show, like I said, when they were counter booking us. But so that's the plan for next week, and we'll talk about more about our predictions there. But LeBron says Toni needs the main event of pay-per-view before she drops the title. She's earned it. 1,000,000% she's earned it. LeBron said, I think coming out of Worlds End, they need to have all new champions across the women's division and AEW and ROH. And Crash says Toni's timeless belts only hold her back. She transcends the belts. She does transcend the belts. And I think it was brought up in the comments. And I wanted to bring this up about women. Athena is out for 5 to 6 weeks, but apparently she's just taking time off. She's not injured.
Okay, good.
Thankfully, not injured, which tells me she's holding that belt until she gets the 3 years. Because 5 to 6 weeks would put her, depending on when it started. If it started right after, so are we 2 weeks into her 5 to 6 weeks off already, or is the 5 to 6 weeks starting now? But I feel like at this rate, her 3 year, as we mentioned last week, show December 10th will be 3 years that she's held that title wherever Final Battle happens. We don't have a date for that yet. I'm assuming after Final Battle will probably be after, but I think she's going to hold it first. I think they're going to get her. At this point, I see them giving her the 3 years.
That's fair.
Because if she's not going to be around to defend it for 5 to 6 weeks, that tells me that she's probably, because if she's not coming back till maybe mid-October, if that, depending on the time frame, I mean, at that point, you're like, 5 or 6 weeks away from Final Battle. You might as well have her hold it the 3 years and then have her lose it at Final Battle. But maybe I'm wrong, but that's where that's just
that does kind of make it makes sense though. I mean, that's fair.
That's what it signals to me. But yeah, I'm trying to see. I think that was, even though it got a little hectic in here, I think we did cover.
Yeah, we got everything.
I think we got everything covered in here. And I'm just trying to make sure we didn't leave anything out. But yeah, so again, make sure you follow Fight Game Media on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter as well. Powerbombshells is on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Instagram. If you haven't already, you can, if you're interested in buying a shirt, that is at oneradtee.com. And as Collins said yesterday or last week, that she agrees that they are comfortable, not too thin, not too thick. And so that option is out there for you as well. And also, when you get done here, make sure you go to Tom Talks Rubbish and subscribe to
help him out.
Help him get to his goal of 1650 by the end of the year. And Mel and I have upcoming pay-per-views.
Yeah, it's so cute. We'll definitely share those out for you guys because Tom's good people. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm glad that we both got the opportunity. I'm excited to watch yours.
Yes, I'm excited to watch yours too, and I need to go back and watch Garrett's.
Me
Collins
too.
has one as well, so there's good stuff there. I think that's everything. Oh, and also, we got to start. Well, you and I will have to talk about this off there, but it's time to start planning our Halloween episode. Is getting
the Halloween scream.
Yes, we're getting there. So, yes, I think that is everything for us.
Live stream, you're right.
Yeah, live stream's coming up. I was looking at it yesterday. I was looking at what was coming up, and I was like, "Oh, live stream."
It's right. We're in the middle of September now. It's officially Halloween season. I mean, pretty much the beginning of any time it gets cool. At the end of summer. We had
the very scientific poll. Was it last? I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. We did the very scientific poll on Twitter about pumpkin spice and apple cider season. Apple cider won. Mm-hmm. And I am team apple cider.
I like apple cider a lot.
So, and somebody in the comments said earlier, how can we talk about how it's already September when it feels like it was just March? And yes,
I know. I told Bob this morning, and I'm gonna do it to you guys too. I'm really sorry, but Happy New Year, because it'll be here before you imagine it. So.
God, it's not going to be much longer. We're going to be celebrating our 4-year anniversary.
I know, right? I think our 200th, like I was counting randomly, and I think our 200th episode is going to be sometime around my birthday. So I find that hilarious.
Oh, amazing. That's so cool. So we can have
our life. We're meant to be together. Yeah, see, exactly. I don't want it to be like that, but that's what happens. And then the older you get, the worse it gets. So
yeah. That's for sure.
And I love Halloween. Halloween is my favorite time of year. I get to visit my friends over in Pennsylvania coming up here soon. So it's my favorite time of year.
Yay.
It's fair season, folks.
It is fair season. And there was something I was going to say before. Last night somebody was talking about how Tony Khan is good about putting tag teams together, talking about Adam Priest and Tommy Billington, which reminded me, I was like, it's like Garrett when he puts podcast hosts together.
Yeah, we were having a fun conversation about that even in the Discord this week. And Mike Gilbert said, he knows how to put two assholes together who talk about wrestling. I was just like, hey, watch it.
I
Mike
resemble
and
that
JD are
comment.
back
Thank you.
too, and
Yes,
that's a lot
congrats
of
to
fun.
them. Yes,
So,
glad the
so
podcasting space needs Mike and
they're
JD.
all settled now, and Mr. Gilbert is talking trash. Mike is my favorite person on social media. He handles it so beautifully. I compared him to one of my favorite online people from politics Twitter. He's so fun to watch. He makes social media so much more tolerable with his quippiness.
Especially because people, it's so funny the amount of people who don't realize that he's joking and just reading them. Yeah, just reading their replies and getting so angry at him. And I was like, I know that he is laughing so hard at you right now. You are reacting. You're reacting exactly the way he wants you to react.
You're giving him what he wants, you people. Don't you get it?
It's so funny. It's
beautiful.
Time.
It's really, it's like a fine art when he does it some days. And I don't even care which wrestling he's talking about. I just love watching him lead them down that path. It's beautiful.
Oh, while I was missing, when the internet took me out, did we talk about Eddie Kingston?
Not yet, but I did see the graphic, and I did see that he is confirmed to be showing up at All Out. So
we talked about it a lot. So we kind of talked about it already. Collins and I talked about how we're super glad Eddie's coming back, but we hate the way they're going about it. Like, I would not have an issue with him wrestling Big Bill at any point, like later down the line. I don't think this should be the return match, and I don't like the way they're doing it. I don't like that he's been gone for over a year, and you bring him back by having Big Bill call him out last week, and then Eddie responds later in the week on Threads and says, the money's good, contract is signed, give me a location. And then Big Bill comes out and insults you in the same way he always insults people, and is like, how about the location is in Toronto at All Out? Like, we knew. I don't
love the way they did it. No. And I hate to say it, but I think that Eddie coming back on a Dynamite or a Collision doesn't have the impact that Eddie coming back on a pay-per-view has.
He's coming back on there. He's coming back on the pay-per-view. It's just,
I know, and I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Yeah. I don't love how they set it up, but I do think they're going for the pop on this one because of what it is and where it is. You could have
done that without this, though.
I agree.
Hearing Eddie Kingston's music would have given you the pop that you need.
I totally agree with you.
I don't. And again, and this is nothing.
I just think that their business decision was to save it for the pay-per-view. Right. I don't necessarily agree with it. It feels rushed. It feels hot-shotted.
I feel like, and this is not anything against Big Bill. Bill, I think he's a solid wrestler. I enjoy him. That's why I think he and Eddie would have been fine down the line on a random Collision. Would have had no problem with. But to bring Eddie back after a year, when you have the Death Rider story that you have clearly Gabe has gone back to New Japan, so they're not going to do the run-in with him and Gabe, but you've got the built-in storyline with Jon Moxley being his best friend and Claudio Castagnoli being his arch nemesis, and the two of them have been running roughshod on AEW in the time that you've been gone. You have the built-in storyline right there. I think that bringing Big Bill into this to be the reason you get him to come back, I don't like it. It's lazy, and it's not fair to Big Bill because people are irritated with it. Like he said, people are going on the internet, and I would never say that because apparently people were saying that Big Bill, doesn't deserve to be in a ring with Eddie, and I think that's absurd. Like,
well, no, that's not the reason.
That's absurd. But the way they're handling it, and so it's not fair to Big Bill because, like, I mean, yes, you're giving him the match, which I guess is the important thing, but the build to it is crap. It's lazy, and like Crash says, neither one of them should be taking the loss here. But clearly, Bill is because Eddie's not going to. And Crash says, "Battle for the King of New York." In Toronto.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with this. I don't like the booking. I know what the reason is. I don't like it. I agree with you on that regard. I think that's the reason. That's what I think I think this was a strictly business decision. I don't love it.
I think it would have had more of an effect to have him return in Philly in the 2300 arena.
Oh, me too.
Than to
I thought for sure with this tenure that they'd at least bring him out for a couple spots.
I figured that. I thought they were, I assumed either way that he was either coming out at 2300 Arena or he'd return at All Out, but I didn't think that they would do it in such a dumb way.
I mean, I guess Dynamite's 3 hours. I guess he could still come back before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he could, and then the match itself happens, but they're done with last night was the end of the residency. Yeah. They're in Toronto on Wednesday for the 3-hour show.
So why not wait for the pay-per-view at this point?
As well, but Laurent, that's always the case, though. He said he looked at the all-out card right now. There's 10 matches, but they could only put 2 women's matches on the card. That's every pay-per-view card. Sometimes we still
only 10, so there's 2 to 3 more matches coming on average. I've done enough slideshows with this guy to know that.
There is the tailgate, the tailgate brawl, which I guess is technically going to be your 0 hour. Has the 8 women match that was announced. So I guess that's equal to putting it on 0 hour because that's where they're, I guess that's what they're doing instead of 0 hours, the tailgate brawl. But unfortunately, that's where they like to do the things here, which is dumb. Crash said he thinks that 0 hours on.
Yeah, we'll have to square that up. But
I can't remember
still
what
be here at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
I know that regardless, tailgate is on at 2:00 because it was originally going when it was the same time as WrestlePalooza. They were going to do the tailgate brawl at 7 to go with WrestlePalooza starting at 7, and then the main card started at 8. But then they decided to move it up to 3, so tailgate got bumped. So I don't know what they're doing. I won't be surprised if they do a 0 hour, which, I mean, at least more people get paid because they actually have wrestling on 0 hour, where the other company does not have matches on there. So maybe we'll get some more people paid, which would be great. They're probably going to do like the Acclaim versus Swirl, which is Blake and Lee. That's probably, I won't be surprised, or unless they have Jerry Lynn wrestle too.
Yikes. Wow.
Maybe that. Yeah, it definitely should have been a bigger deal. I don't like the way they did this.
I agree with you guys. I do agree with you. I'm not saying that I agree with the decision. I'm saying that I think that was the decision. I don't like it. I just think that that's how they decided to do it.
Yeah. I think that there will be a one-on-one between them at some point. But
I hope so. I want to see that.
Now, I'm excited about Aminata and Tekla, though. That's going to be
Didn't she get hurt?
Who?
Queenie Aminata, didn't she get hurt? I thought I saw she got hurt.
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I don't think so. No, the match was announced. The match was announced unless they're going to pull the match. The match was announced last night that they're wrestling. That's the other. There's 2 women's matches on Dynamite this week. That's one, and the other. Yeah, and the other is is it No. Yeah, it is. Isn't it? Is it Riho versus Robin Renegade? I believe that's who's wrestling Robin.
Okay.
Yes. They did. Lee Johnson hated the name, but Blake keeps using it. They've been using it on ROH, so I guess that's what they're going by. Which I don't like it either. It's dumb. I get why. Yes, thank you. Okay, it is Riho and Robin Renegade, which is what I thought because it's the connection to Mercedes, because there's been the rumor that what I was trying to say before my Wi-Fi dropped was that they've been saying that that the Renegade twins were going to be in a faction with Mercedes, and it seems like potentially this is what could be signaling. I don't mind them because I mean, I get it, but I mean, the women that are in these and even the men, like somebody pointed out how WWE could not do that. Like there's no way WWE has the talent to put on multi-person matches like that. And with the women, it is furthering their storylines because we've talked about it many times about the tag team division. If they're setting up women's tag teams by seeing who works together best. So they're setting that up. And if we are eventually getting a blood and guts, you're setting that up as well. And you're having them in there week in and week out, working with each other. So I don't mind them as much as some fans do. And if they are actually getting paid this extra money, then good for them. Laurent says that will probably be a squash match talking about Riho and Robin, but Sean Ross Sapp has implied that the faction is happening. which good for them because I enjoy the Renegades. Robin, as I've seen a little bit more of,
Me too.
because her sister was hurt for a while. But so I like that they're doing that. It gives Mercedes something different to do. Yes, the ladder match for the 4-way tag titles. Brodito will retain, but it'll be wild, which we will talk about that next week. Nikki said, is Jericho coming for Bigville to fuss at him for not beating Kingston? God, I hope not.
Me too.
I hope not, but nothing will surprise me. And yes, and Nikki
And he
points
is
out
in
they
Canada.
will be in Canada.
So,
Yes. Laurent says he doesn't mind the ones for women's. They need to be a bit longer. 9 minutes isn't long enough for 8 people to tell a good story. I agree. And they could have, instead of doing the dumb Acclaim storyline last night, they could have given the women more time. I mean, yes, they got the aftermath stuff with them, but the match itself could have gotten more time. But no, we had to do the stuff with the Acclaimed. And FTR had to go back and have another 25-minute match for this. So.
Oh, FTR.
I do appreciate the Philly fans chanting at them to please go home.
Yeah, me too. I thought you would like that. I was like, oh, Sam will like that.
I laughed
Sam
at them.
agrees with it. They were booing them and telling them to go home.
I super love the fuck the revival chant that they were doing a couple weeks ago, but last night doing the please go home stuff was making me laugh.
Yeah, me too. Because I was like, oh, they agree.
Yes, King of New York in Toronto could mean Jericho. All right.
Can we not?
Yeah. Yeah, and like Nikki, I mean, Laurent says FTR must have it in their contract. They have the longest match every show they're on. That's what I've been saying for months, that they must have it in their contract that they have to main event often. Their main events have to go half an hour, and that they have to be the longest match on the card, because it's nearly every single time they have a match, it's
what it feels like now that you guys say it,
and it drives me insane. I'm like, we could be doing other things. I don't need to see, especially when we did. And shout out to Adam Priest and Tommy Billington for killing it, but also, can we put the Workhorsemen back on TV? Because that match, we got JD Drake and Adam Priest. We got JD Drake and Adam Priest, which was great. But Anthony is back from vacation. Can we have Anthony and JD Drake now? Can they get that match with FTR? Can we run that back? Can we put them on TV, please? And that's nothing. There's no shit against Adam Priest, but your actual tag team is back. Can we have that now? Can we have that? If you're gonna force me to watch FTR, at least make it enjoyable for me and put Workhorsemen on the other side of the ring for me.
I agree with you. You know I love some Workhorsemen.
Yes. Maria says, instead of 4-way women's match, we could have gotten 2 more women's matches at All Out. But I think that they're doing, I think they're doing something. We'll talk about all that next week about what I think is going on. I'm sure I know there's other theories. It's been a long time. They haven't put her in a position. It's been, I don't even know. It's been too long. All right. So I believe we have come to the end of the show. I have got to get to Panda Fest.
She needs to panda on out of here.
I do. And that
needs to shake her panda.
So let's go battle traffic and see what that's like. Hopefully, fingers crossed, traffic's not that bad. We don't have to wait in line that long to even get in, because people were saying it was taking them, even with tickets, it was taking them an hour just to get in. But since they're not selling tickets today, I'm hoping that it does not happen that way. So
you guys are gonna have fun.
Yes. Fernando, I will give I have an opinion on, or have thoughts about that, because I've seen that's a theory, and I actually have considered it by myself, but I think something else is happening. But I will tell you, you'll have to tune in next week, and I will tell you what it is that I think is happening.
And again, that is 11 a.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, Saturday, the 20th of September. We will definitely
put out reminders for you all week long on our social media if you follow us. But if you don't follow us on social media, if you're subscribed to the Fight Game Media Network, put on your notifications, and it will tell you when we go live next Saturday. Just know that we will probably be on the same time. If you see, 0 hour is on, then that probably means that Sam
might be
and Mel are on. Yeah. I love Sam's feud with the internet. Yeah, it used to be the feud with the microphone.
And
now
always,
now I don't use the microphone. And so now today it was the internet.
The internet has to get her. It was because Tony didn't. I think Tony really didn't want her saying the things that she said about the C2 and the blood and guts. So,
and he was like, "Get rid of it."
This is how important you've become, Sam. All right.
Even on the football Sunday when the Jags are playing,
right? And he's over here messing with your internet.
He's sending one of his people to go.
You're living rent free in his freaking head, girl. All right, go have fun.
We're gonna find out when there's. Oh gosh, you know what? I don't know what day.
I
don't know what day the All Out call is gonna be. Hopefully it's not Thursday, unless it's later in the afternoon because I have an appointment on Thursday. But unless that's why he scheduled it on Thursday. Yes, I will check. I will next week before we get into the matches. I'll tell you what happens at Panda.
Yeah, we need a report from the Panda Festival now.
Yes,
we need to follow up on this.
Yes, I will let you know what happens. Thank you, Fernando. We appreciate it.
Thank you all for being here. We really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yes, and we will definitely see you next Saturday. At 11
Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will talk to you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.